How can I stand out as a small YouTuber if I don't have the personality, the resources, the experience that the big players on this platform have? Is it over? Am I not special enough? In my last video, I talked about the 4 pillars of remarkable content: expertise, personality, style and format, and the feeling that you leave people with at the end of your videos. Every single big creator on this platform has found a way to stand way above the rest in each of those 4 categories and figured out how to do that on a consistent basis. It's easy to see how Casey Neistat has made his mark in each of those 4 categories. But if we put our face next to those 4 words, it's a lot harder to see how we could be remarkable. How could we possibly be special in those 4 categories? What could we possibly contribute that doesn't already exist? In this video, I want to help you figure that out. The 4 pillars of remarkable content can be pretty intimidating. So today I want to help you rethink them, see how you could stand out in each of those 4 categories. Even if you're a small YouTuber, even if you don't have the resources, personality, experience, creativity that the big players have. This is a big one, so if you're ready for it, grab a pen and paper, buckle up, let's get into it. For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm Eric Wen, and on this channel we talk about communication and self-awareness. I want to help you as a creative think about what you say and how you say it so that you can really make an impact. Today I want to break apart the misconceptions you have about the 4 pillars of remarkable content. I want to add some nuance to each of those 4 categories so that you could see that there's actually a lot more options than you think for you. Let's start with expertise. When we normally think about expertise or spectacle, as I mentioned in my last video, it's easy for us to only think about obvious experts or professionals in their craft. People like Peter McKinnon, someone who did years and years and years of photography and performing and magic before he even started doing YouTube. And often we can't pull stuff like that out of our back pockets. Or you've got someone like Mr. Beast, who's literally spending millions of dollars on his content so that he can show you a spectacle that you've never seen before. That's awesome to watch, but it's impossible for us to stand out in that same way. We just don't have those resources like he does. Instead of getting hung up on expertise and whether or not you have enough, I want you to focus instead on these 3 words: identity, access, and excellence. Experts and professionals like Peter McKinnon are leveraging a piece of their identity to show how they are remarkable. Even if you don't have the work experience that Peter McKinnon has, chances are there's a lot of identities that you have that you're forgetting about that you could use to your advantage, that you could use to show how you stand out. For instance, I think about my friend Audrey. Her video exploded when she recreated Dan Mace's intro. And she didn't do it because she had a lot of experience. She was actually doing it from a place of being a beginner. She was really struggling. She wasn't necessarily doing things the right way, but she was trying her best as a beginner. She highlighted that she was a beginner. In a funny way, her expertise was being a beginner. Think about the identities or unique perspectives that you have that you are forgetting about. It could be your stage of life, your gender, your cultural background, the hardships you've experienced, how many languages you speak, or it could be something way more specific than that. Not all of those are gonna be the right fit for your YouTube channel, but dig deep, figure those out. Chances are that you have a lot more identities or areas of expertise than you think. The other nuanced word I want to add to expertise is access. It can be really daunting to think about expertise because a lot of us don't have 10+ years of experience in a certain specific field. But if you instead focus on giving people access, it's a lot more freeing. What are some things that you can give people access to that they normally wouldn't have access to? For some of you, that might mean giving people access to the part of the world that you're at, or sharing your unique perspectives or story, or it might be that you're giving people access to an experience they normally wouldn't be able to have. I want to take this sort of to the extreme to illustrate a point. Think about how popular reaction videos are and commentary videos are. It's pretty bizarre that we like to watch other people watch something else, or that we'll listen to some random stranger talk for hours and hours and hours about a random topic or a random trailer or a random, whatever. Why do we do that? Well, if we examine it a little closer, we can see the value of those videos is that they're giving you access to the reactions or thoughts of another person whenever you want, right? Before the internet, we wouldn't be able to see what some random stranger or our friends are thinking about that trailer that just dropped. Well, now it's giving us access to those thoughts and emotions, and that's why it feels really fun. I'm not saying you should make a reaction or commentary video channel. I am saying though, if you get creative about that idea of giving access, you'll realize you have way more options to stand out than you think. What thoughts, feelings, or experiences can you give people access to that they normally wouldn't have access to? Lastly, for this category, I want to bring up the idea of excellence, a really important one. The surefire, foolproof way for you to stand out in this category is if you put in hard work and sacrifice something that the average normal person would never do. I think about Audrey, right? She was pouring so much hard work into that Dan Mace video and she was really struggling. It was remarkable because she struggled and persisted way longer than the average normal person ever would. Or I think about my friend Burke. He filmed and edited a music video in 24 hours with basically no equipment and with no budget. Of course that video stood out as remarkable because he was putting in hard work and stepping up to a challenge that most people wouldn't have accepted. Mr. Beast counting to 100,000 is the perfect example of this. That video didn't stand out because he had a big budget or because he was doing something technically we all could do. He was just the only one willing to do it, and that's what made him remarkable. If you're hung up on expertise, think instead about identity, access, and excellence. And you will see, if you really brainstorm and think about it, that you have a lot more opportunities to stand above the rest than you think. All right, let's move on. That was a big one. Personality. Standing out as remarkable in this category, it's not about being fake. It's not about making your personality as big as possible. It's about trust and self-awareness. Don't worry too much if you have the YouTuber personality. Think instead if you are presenting yourself in a way where people can trust you, where people should trust you. And then beyond that, what really makes you a rock star in this category? Relentless self-awareness. Know inside and out who you are and who you are not. Don't stop at just saying, oh, I'm a normal guy, I'm fun, I'm nice, I'm encouraging, I'm this age, this is what I like doing, I'm an introvert. That's very surface level. You need to go like 10 steps deeper. All right, you're an introvert, but go deeper. What type of introvert are you? Are you really reclusive and shy and nervous? Are you really in your head a lot? Do you like to read and write and draw? Are you an extroverted introvert? It's intentional that I film a lot of my videos indoors, not as much B-roll, basically just sitting in one spot, sharing my thoughts, asking interesting questions. I want to present myself like this in my videos because that highlights more who I actually am and what I get excited about. There's a reason why these videos are getting a lot more analytical. There's a reason why these videos are focusing a lot more on communication. When you really invest in your self-awareness, it'll become easier for you to see how you can shape your content, tweak your content to highlight the sides of your personality that are really, really remarkable. I think it's interesting how Mr. Beast as a person doesn't actually have an obvious standout personality. He's not very loud, he's sort of unassuming. But because of how he knows himself and how he shaped his content, his videos still have a lot of personality. Where does that personality come from? Well, he actually chose to elevate the personalities of his friends around him so that they can introduce the big personalities and loud energy that he doesn't naturally have. The third pillar of remarkable content is style and format. When I first realized that this was a core ingredient in almost every single successful channel on this platform, I started to get a little worried because I was like, I can't come up with a game show format. I can't come up with something like that. Or from a different angle, I don't want to pigeonhole my content into one type of thing. Is it really impossible to have a variety of content and grow on YouTube? Don't focus too much on one particular format or style. Instead, think of it as, I want to introduce more patterns into my content. Think about it this way. If your audience were to come to your videos on a regular basis, how quickly would they be able to figure out what your channel is about? When you upload your next video, how sure are they gonna be that it's going to be helpful to them? Are they gonna know sort of what that video is going to look like or feel like? Think about how you can establish more through lines with your content and more patterns. That could mean that you focus on one specific topic for all of your content or one specific style or format for all of your content, but it doesn't necessarily need to be exactly like that. Think about Mr. Beast's channel. He has a wide variety with his content, but it's easy to see how it all fits together. When a new video comes, before you even click, you sort of know what it's gonna look like, what it's gonna feel like, because of the patterns patterns that he's established on his channel because of the through lines that he's woven into his content and his messaging. You don't need to be a game show to stand out in this category. You do need to find a way to be unique, yes, but you also need to focus on introducing rhythms or expectations or patterns into your content so that your viewers aren't as blindsided, so that your viewer has less trouble deciding whether or not they should watch your next video. The last pillar of remarkable content is feeling. The feeling that you leave people with at the end of each video. This one's harder to break down because it's a feeling. Feelings are very abstract, so don't freak out trying to manufacture a feeling or being like, why aren't people connecting with my content? Instead of, banging your head against the wall trying to figure that out, I would encourage you to think instead about listening. You know it when you watch a piece of content that makes you feel something remarkable, that gets you to talk to your friends about it, that suddenly makes you super relaxed, that makes you think about things you've never thought before. You know it when that happens. When that happens, stop and think about why that happened. What was it about that piece of content that made you feel that way? What was it about the visuals, the storytelling, the person's, expression and performance? When you stop and study that remarkable content, that remarkable feeling that was evoked in you, you'll have a better ability to evoke that same emotion in your videos. The other angle of this is think about what feeling people get when they interact with you in real life. Before I started YouTube, I didn't really fully see how analytical I was. It wasn't until I listened more to your comments and saw everyone saying like, oh my gosh, I've never thought of that before, or you really made me think, I'm gonna have to chew on that for a while, that I realized that, oh, by listening better, I got not only a better view of myself, but a better idea of how people were reacting to my content. And in seeing that, I can now sort of shape or tweak the content so that it amplifies that feeling at the end of each of my videos. Don't get discouraged if it takes you a little while to figure out how this information integrates with your channel. For me, it literally took 3 months of me banging my head against the wall, freaking out, not being able to figure it out before I could get some of the insights and clarity and confidence that I feel right now with my channel. It takes time, that's normal, so don't freak out. Here are 4 quick, digestible takeaways that probably could help you more today with your content. Reminder number 1, don't forget to show us how you are remarkable. Imagine if Audrey had cut out the part where she was struggling in her Dan Mace video, where she didn't show the part where she was messing up or a beginner or didn't know what she was doing. The video would have been 100 times less compelling. She would have done the same amount of hard work, but by not owning it, by not showing it, by not calling out that she was a beginner, it would have really not been special. If you want people to notice something as remarkable, highlight it, call it out, show it, say it. Don't make it hard to see. Reminder number 2, don't forget what you already have. A big theme in this entire thing is that you have a lot more to offer that makes you special than you think. You're not gonna be able to figure out how to make remarkable content if you think about yourself as average. You're gonna need to really dig deep and find all of those little ways that you are above average. Then you'll be able to figure out how to present yourself in a way that's actually remarkable, that highlights how you are above average. Reminder number 3, innovate, be inspired, remix, mash up, blend together all the stuff you want, but really try not to directly copy what already exists on this platform. If you're really trying to stand out or get noticed or make something remarkable on this platform, you're not gonna get there by being 90% a copy of every other motivational, educational, vlog, tutorial, all that sort of stuff. You're gonna really need to do something new, something fresh, and so try to keep that innovative, creative spirit alive. Don't freak out too much if you can't figure this out right away. The fact that you can't see it, that you can't figure it out just like that, means you haven't seen it yet. Means it doesn't exist yet. That's sort of a good sign. That means you might be on your way to create something original that people haven't seen before. Lean into that with all the creativity and excitement and passion and patience that it takes to make anything remarkable on this sweet planet of ours. This video was a lot to put together. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end. If you enjoyed it, if you found any sort of value in this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you could share this video in particular, I know this video has the potential to be a major unlock for a lot of creators in this community. You are the change maker of your own life. Let's think more deeply. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.